This standard is ARCH.8.EE.B.5.8.2c. The learning target is I can use linear equations to solve real-world problems. A linear equation allows a line to be drawn on a graph when the x value and y value move at a constant rate. The equation looks like this when the line goes through 0, 0. Y equals mx. We'll come back to this in a few minutes. Compare Betty and Julie. Betty walked 5 miles per hour. If you write that as a ratio, you would have 5 miles in the numerator and 1 hour in the denominator because of the way it's written. You write it as a ratio the way that you read it. If it's per, that means 1 goes in the denominator. Julie walked at a pace as seen on the graph. Who walked faster? Let's look at the graph. So if Betty walked 5 miles per hour, and that's 5 over 1, 5 miles over 1 hour, we're going to go over here to this graph, and we're going to see Julie, knowing the x-axis is here and the y-axis is here, and knowing that we see hours here, we know that Julie's rate should also have 1 hour in the denominator so we can compare it to Betty's rate. So at 1 hour, how far did Julie walk? You go straight up until you run into the line, and we see that we run into it at 3. So Julie walks 3 miles per hour. Betty walked 5 miles per hour. So the answer to who walked faster would be Betty, because 5 is greater than 3. So let's go back and ask another question. How far did Betty walk in 6 hours? Well, remember, if you have miles in the numerator and hours in the denominator, and you know that Betty's rate is 5 miles per hour, and you want a proportion, and you know that Betty walked 6 hours, you're trying to see how far in miles Betty walked. So you can use cross multiplication to find a solution, or you can use a multiplier. 1 times what equals 6? 6. So 5 times 6 equals 30. So Betty walked 30 miles in 6 hours. And that is the end of this lesson.